Battered, abused and then abandoned. Life is a constant struggle for these divorced women.
कुछ कर नहीं सकती है, अपाहिज हो गई है, किसी काम की है नहीं, इसलिए उसने दे दिया।
Triple talaq turned their lives into living hell.
आज जिस तरीके से मैं यहाँ बैठी हूँ, कल को मेरी बेटियाँ ना बैठी हों या किसी और की बेटी ना बैठी हो।
For their husbands, there's no accountability. Triple talaq has become an easy tool in the hands of men, delivered via phone, WhatsApp or speed post.
मुझे 3 तलाक एक साथ मिल गया 30 जनवरी को। ये स्पीड पोस्ट से मुझे एक तलाक मिलता है।
As debate rages on among the political class over the controversial subject, more and more Muslim women are taking up the cudgels for their rights. Many Muslim countries have already abolished the practice. Which way will India decide? Hello and a warm welcome to Ground Report, the one-stop show that brings you stories from the remote corners of the country. Through this program, we highlight those issues which are related to the common man but do not find much prominence in the mainstream media. This program also deals with those aspects of the society which are entangled in a mesh of conflict and many unanswered questions. Our today's edition of Ground Report will focus on triple talaq, that is the instant divorce practice amongst the Muslim community. Remember, triple talaq has been a raging issue over the last 1 year. There have been questions on its constitutional validity, there have been protests, and there have been many signature campaigns. But despite all this heat, there is no dearth of the horror stories behind triple talaq. Anu Devan with our top story today.
Life couldn't have been more tragic than this for Salma. After being brutally beaten up by her husband, she lost her eyesight. While Salma was struggling at the hospital, in an ugly turn of events, her irrational husband gave her an instantaneous triple talaq. It's been 3 years since then, but Salma is still struggling to get by with her 6-year-old son. She now stays with her mother with the trauma she knows she has to endure her entire life.
कुछ कर नहीं सकती है, अपाहिज हो गई है, किसी काम की है नहीं, इसलिए उसने दे दिया। तलाक तो मुझे ऐसे दे देता, उन्हें देखा वाले नहीं करना, आया नहीं एक बार भी लेने, मुझे बुलाने ना तो मुझे देखने, ना मेरे बच्चे को देखने, ना तो मुझे खर्चा दे रहा, ना कुछ दे रहा। पुलिस वाले तो ये कहते ठीक करा के कहीं और शादी कर दो। पुलिस वाले ये कहा, पुलिस वालों ने ये बोला था, ये जवाब देता ठीक करा के उसकी शादी कर दो कहीं।
Cut to another Muslim household and another horror story of triple talaq unfolds. This lady, who does not want to expose herself but has somehow gathered courage to speak before the RSTV cameras, came with a lot of fanfare as a pampered bride. She then gave birth to 3 daughters, but the moment the 4th daughter was born, all hell broke loose. Her husband uttered talaq 3 times and changed her life forever.
2 साल से भगा हुआ है, माँ बापों के पास रह रहा है और माँ बाप कह देते हैं, अगर मैं पूछती हूँ कि कहाँ गया, किधर गया, कोई तो वजह, तो कहते हैं हमें कुछ नहीं पता, हमने तो बेदखल कर रखा उसको। अब इससे आगे मैं क्या पूछूँ? अगर मैं ज़्यादा कुछ करती हूँ तो मुझे गालियाँ देते हैं और मुझे मारने की धमकी देते हैं। अगर मेरे माँ बाप साथ देते हैं तो उनको भी मारने की धमकी देते हैं। आज जिस तरीके से मैं यहाँ बैठी हूँ, कल को मेरी बेटियां ना बैठी हों या किसी और की बेटी ना बैठी हो या कोई औरत मेरी जगह पे ऐसे ना बैठी हो, बस।
Now let's shift focus to Delhi's posh Sangam Vihar locality. This lady is ready to take on the male-dominated Muslim society, which unleashed terror on her life only because she did not bring dowry. Her husband subjected her to gruesome domestic violence and gave her triple talaq. She was known to be a very docile woman, but is now ready to demolish this age-old custom through her newfound activism.
इस चीज़ का अधिकार जो दे दिया गया है इन लोगों को, शरीयत ने दिया है या कैसे भी दिया है, मगर इस चीज़ का ये लोग गलत फ़ायदा उठा रहे हैं। मर्द लोगों को ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए। इस चीज़ का अधिकार हमें भी होना चाहिए कि जब हमारी शादी हमारी मर्ज़ी से या हमारे घर वालों की मर्ज़ी से हुई है, तो ऐसे ही आप 2 मिनट में तलाक बोल के तो रिश्ता ख़त्म नहीं कर सकते ना।
There is no dearth of such stories from across the country which have changed the lives of Muslim women in India. Thirsting for a change, these women have taken up the cudgels themselves now, but how long the fight will be is anybody's guess.
The fact that over 1 million Muslim women from across India have signed a petition to end the controversial divorce practice of triple talaq is a reflect to change in the mindset. The number of such angry women from the Muslim community is sure to decline if the momentum of court and activists sustains. Anu Diwan for Rajya Sabha TV.
Triple talaq is a sensitive issue and has been a rallying point in the recently held Uttar Pradesh Assembly elections. If the political parties realize the potential of the Muslim vote bank, its outfits like Muslim Personal Law Board, which have defended their stance staunchly as a matter of faith. Faith versus gender justice, this is what the political parties are encashing on. In our reporter's diary, Ravinder Shara brings you this report.
Triple talaq, a double-edged issue. On one hand, used to polarize and communalize the voters during election, and the brighter side of it being that it can galvanize the Muslim women in the name of gender justice. Prime Minister Narendra Modi raked the triple talaq issue last October in the run-up to the Uttar Pradesh elections.
इस देश में हिंदू को भी मां के गर्भ में बेटियों को मारने का हक नहीं होगा, वो हिंदू होगा तो भी जेल जाना पड़ेगा। इस देश में मुस्लिम बहनों को भी 3 तलाक कह करके बर्बाद करने वालों लोगों को भी आज के युग में बर्बाद करने का मौका नहीं दिया जा सकता है।
And since then, BJP has kept the pot boiling.
3 तलाक का विषय न धर्म का है, न पूजा पद्धति का है, न किसी समुदाय का है। 3 तलाक का विषय है नारी न्याय, नारी गरिमा, नारी समानता।
मुझे याद आता है जब आज लोग देश की एक ज्वलंत समस्या को लेकर के मुंह बंद किए हुए हैं, तो मुझे महाभारत की वह सभा याद आती है जब द्रौपदी का चीरहरण होता है और उस समय द्रौपदी ने उस भरी सभा से एक प्रश्न पूछा था कि आखिर इस घटना का दोषी कौन है।
Other political parties are not far behind in reaping the political dividends, even if it's through finger pointing at the BJP. Even they realize the potential of keeping the issue alive.
देखिए, इस्लाम में भी कहा गया है कि खुदा ने तलाक का परमिशन दिया है, लेकिन कहा है कि परमिशन देने वाली चीजों में जिस चीज से हमको ज्यादा घृणा है सबसे, वो तलाक है।
Outfits like the Muslim Personal Law Board staunchly defend the current degenerate practice of triple talaq, overlooking the women's perspective, suppressing the Muslim voices who are seeking a ban on triple talaq, and also espousing the marriage under Special Marriage Act.
My constitution very specifically says that all the citizens of the country are allowed, they are free to follow their religion. Now this, what is religion? It's a matter of faith for me. What is my matter of faith? That triple divorce is a part of my Sharia. And how it is being followed? It is followed for the last 1400 years. So Supreme Court is nobody to interpret it, because the interpretation could be done by the people, by the government.
Politics could not have been more evident than this. When Muslim community is allegedly being silenced by the cow vigilant groups, the government does not seem to be moving on this. But plight of Muslim women because of triple talaq is a ringing endorsement of the current politics. The million-dollar question is, will political parties talk about gender justice of women in other religions as well? This is Ravinder Sheuran signing off for Ground Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
For the last 1 week, Supreme Court has been hearing the cases on triple talaq. In fact, it was a batch of petitions on which the cases were heard. The hearings have just got concluded and the judgment is reserved. But let's take a look at some of the landmark cases of triple talaq which actually changed the course of the triple talaq debate in the country. In March 2016, Uttarakhand's Shaira Banu became the first Muslim woman to file a petition in Supreme Court against triple talaq. May 2016, Jaipur's Afreen Rahman moved Supreme Court on triple talaq after being divorced via speed post. August 2016, Howrah's Ishra Jahan approached Supreme Court after being divorced by her husband over phone from Dubai. March 2017, Atiya Sabri from Saharanpur moved Supreme Court, challenging triple talaq by her husband on a piece of paper. And March 2017, Saharanpur's Shagufta Shah sought Prime Minister Narendra Modi's help after her husband divorced her when she refused to abort their third daughter. So as we told you that despite all the heat which is on the triple talaq cases, there is actually no dearth of the horror stories behind triple talaq. And as we just told you that the Supreme Court has ended its hearing, it has reserved its judgment. But what are the actual options before the court, and what is the way forward, and how much can we look forward to this triple talaq case? Joining me now is Amritanshu Rai, who's been covering legal affairs for a long time. Amritanshu, what are the possible options which actually the court would look at now?
See, you have to understand how the entire court is constituted in this matter. It's a multidisciplinary multi-religious constitution bench. So you've got one judge from one religious denomination. Now, all five of them have their own right to pen down the judgment. So you can actually have 5 different judgments, okay? Or you can have 2 separate judgments, or you can have 3 and 2. So how these judgments pan out and what is the majority view,
okay,
that is what is actually going to prevail. So, and every judge has the right to pen down his own judgment.
There is a lot of talk on as to whether the court is going to take a narrow view of the entire scenario or a broad-minded view. How would you look at it, basically?
See, going by what has happened inside the court, they've been, no dearth of the, high-flying lawyers who presented cases from both the sides. And the government's view is important and relevant because it's the Attorney General. Among all the people, Attorney General is also a constitutional position. So the government seeks the opinion of the Attorney General on matters of constitution. And the Attorney General in this case was representing the government's point of view in the court. Okay. So the judges probably won't be easy for the judges to completely ignore the government's view. And the government's view is pretty well known that equality for everyone is one of the goals that the Constitution sets for the government, and that needs to be achieved. And if that is what has to be achieved, then no other rights or can other rights be maintained in front of that right to equality.
There is also a possible talk of as to how a Muslim Personal Law Board could actually come out with a revolutionary draft in which it accommodates the women's view. So do you also see a possibility of that happening?
Now, they have made an offer.
Yeah.
The Muslim Personal Law Board's lawyer made an offer in the court saying that we will make an inclusion during the nikah that the lady can put in, pen down there that triple talaq will not be acceptable to her.
Okay.
That is in the beginning of the marriage that happens itself. Now, it is for the court to decide actually, because if the court looks at the implementation part and the personal law part, then it will most probably, and if it doesn't want to interfere, it will allow that to happen with a small little change that during nikah you get it written down. But if they want a fundamental change, and if they want to uphold the goal of equality for every citizen in this country, they will have to tread the tougher path.
And if I may be allowed to put the cat amongst the pigeons and ask you that, supposing if the triple talaq is banned, do you actually see a beginning of the uniform civil code somewhere, which the discourse has been there, but we don't know whether it's going to be there?
So I will give you an example by what happened with the among the Hindus. So the reformist movement, it was not through the courts that it came, but it happened through the parliament.
Okay.
And very recently, about 7 years back, the women were given rights in patriarchal property. Also right to form their own HUF or lead Hindu undivided family, which was earlier just the domain of the males. Right? So it is sinking in, and you see daughters and sisters in India claiming their right to equal part in the patriarchal property, which was solely the domain of the Hindu males. So this is how it pans out. This is one small change that can actually impact and gradually bring them to parity as far as equality in India is concerned.
Right. Thank you so much, Amritanshu. So all eyes would be on the judgment which is reserved by the Supreme Court at the moment, and we'll have to wait and watch how it strikes a balance between the secular laws and the personal laws. Time for us to slip into a short break. On the other side, we take you to an Anganwadi center in Uttar Pradesh's Ambedkar Nagar, where ICDS seems to exist only on paper. Back in a moment. Welcome back. You're watching Ground Report, and shifting focus now to the Integrated Child Development Scheme. Remember, this is one of the most significant schemes which supports the healthcare, nutrition, preschool education of children across the country. In our regional window today, we take you to one of the Anganwadi centers at Ambedkar Nagar in Uttar Pradesh, where ICDS scheme seems to exist only on paper. Why and how? Find out through this report.
Integrated Child Development Scheme, or ICDS, is the most significant support scheme which provides basic health care as well as preschool education for children in India. But the harsh reality is that 10 lakh children die in India every year in the first year of their birth. Ground Report team visited Uttar Pradesh's Ambedkar Nagar district to find out that this 4-decade-old government program aimed at improving the nutritional and health status of children below the age of 6 exists only on papers. Take a look at this Anganwadi center in Ambedkar Nagar, which is located on the government school premises. Other centers like these are running from Panchayat Bhavans or from the houses of the Anganwadi workers. Devoid of basic facilities, these centers lack buckets, fans, mattresses and equipments like weighing scales. The dingy single rooms from where these centers are operating are doubling up many a times as storerooms. The take-home ration for the registered beneficiaries is often found to be of poor quality and is hardly supplied on time. There is hardly any open space for the children to play at these centers.
हमारी स्थिति ये है कि 3,000 और 200 रुपये राज्य सरकार द्वारा मिल रहा है, 3,000 केंद्र सरकार द्वारा मिल रहा है। इससे हमारा जीवन बिल्कुल ही व्यापक नहीं हो सकता। जो चीज़ आता है हर चीज़ बहुत घटिया आता है। पोषाहार को आप देख लीजिए, वो बच्चों के पोषण के लिए आता है, उसको बच्चे खाएंगे तो और कुपोषित हो जाएंगे।
Most of the Anganwadi workers are a demotivated lot as they work without salaries for several months, and some were even paying the centers rents from their pockets. These Anganwadi workers from time to time have demanded regularization of their jobs, higher salaries, social security etc. through various litigations. Anganwadi workers continue to be in short supply.
हम लोगों के लिए 3,000-3,200 में जीवन यापन करना बहुत कठिन है। बच्चे पढ़ रहे हैं, पैसे की वजह से पढ़ाई नहीं हो पाती सही ढंग से।
हम लोग मांग जिले पे किए, फिर जो है प्रदेश पे किए, लखनऊ दिल्ली तक हम लोग को लाठीचार्ज हुआ, कोई सरकार सुनवाई नहीं की।
Despite a Supreme Court ruling that ICDS should be universalized and there should be one Anganwadi for every 1,000 population, many Anganwadis are without their own buildings, toilets and playgrounds.
शासन द्वारा निर्देश दिया गया कि प्राइमरी विद्यालय में 2 ही आंगनबाड़ी केंद्र स्थित होने चाहिए। तो ऐसी दशा में कुछ केंद्रों को हमें किराए पर संचालित करना पड़ रहा है। हालांकि इसके लिए यहाँ पे करीब 40 केंद्र हमारे बन के तैयार हो चुके हैं और हमारे करीब 100 आंगनबाड़ी केंद्रों का भी पैसा आ चुका है, उसके लिए प्रस्ताव भेजा जा चुका, वो उसका निर्माण कार्य जल्द प्रारंभ हो जाएगा। तो आने वाले समय में हम किराए के आंगनबाड़ी केंद्रों की समस्या से निजात पाएंगे।
Children in India account for 39% of the entire population. According to the latest ICDS data, 14,673 posts of Anganwadi supervisors, 62,970 posts of Anganwadi workers and 1,18,609 posts of Anganwadi helpers were still vacant. Additionally, there is also a shortage of 3,000 children development project officers and more than 14,000 supervisors. Anganwadi workers are the ground workers who ensure healthy growth of children through regular nutrition and vaccination. They also play a critical role in identifying malnourished children and ensuring them timely interventions like specific parent counseling, focused diet, or referring them to nutrition rehabilitation centers if need be. The future of the children depends on these ground workers. With Bureau Inputs, signing off for Ground Report.
Moving on now, if you're planning to go on a vacation to Himachal's Kullu, Solan or Mandi, think twice. We are not trying to scare you, but just a note of caution because of the rising number of tuberculosis cases in these hill towns. If you want to find out the reasons, take a look at this report.
A picturesque town in Himachal Pradesh where nature seems to have bestowed its bounty generously. But all this literally not well in this hill town. Thousands of people in Kullu are suffering from tuberculosis. As official figures released earlier this year, Kullu became the second worst affected district by tuberculosis in India, followed by Mandi and Solan.
2016-17 के अंदर 1411 पेशेंट्स जो हैं वो यहाँ पे ट्यूबरकुलोसिस के थे. इसमें से हमारे 57 पेशेंट्स MDR के हैं. 1411 पेशेंट जो हमने यहाँ पे डिटेक्ट भी किए, उसके बारे में मैं सिर्फ आपसे ये कहना चाहूँगा कि हमारे यहाँ जो है केस डिटेक्शन रेट जो है वो बहुत अच्छा है.
Many remote villages in Kullu are still not connected via proper roads, which make it difficult for the patients to get medical aid in time, especially during winters. Rising number of cases is also attributed to the lack of awareness. Stigma attached with the disease is another reason for patients to avoid getting screened for TB. The situation is worsening with rising number of multi-drug resistant TB cases. Doctors, however, say that the screening rates are high in the region.
हमारा जो डिटेक्शन है बहुत ज़्यादा है. हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि जहाँ पे हमें थोड़ा सा भी प्रॉब्लम पता लगती है, हम वहाँ के डोर टू डोर या घर पे जाके पहुँचे और उनको जो टीबी के ऐसे केसेस आ रहे हैं और उनके जो रिलेटिव्स हैं, हम सबको स्क्रीन करें ताकि वो चीज़ें आगे ना बढ़ पाएँ.
कई तरह से टीबी वार्ड में ऐसे बहुत से पेशेंट हैं जिन्हें तकरीबन परिवार होते हुए भी वो परिवार वाले उन्हें वहाँ पर हमारे भरोसे छोड़ जाते हैं, ताकि जो देख रेख है वो हमारी संस्था वो करती है समय समय पर.
In Himachal Pradesh, around 15,000 new cases of TB are registered every year, whereas around 9,000 TB patients seek treatment from the private sector. Worrying figures even as the central government is targeting to eliminate tuberculosis by 2025. With Bureau Input signing off for Ground Report.
Now to some path-breaking stories of women achievers. Women e-auto rickshaw drivers in the Mushehri block of Bihar's Muzaffarpur have hit the roads, shaking off years of social barriers in their way. They are women from poor background but are navigating through history in their own way. Take a look at this report.
It's a town which has not grown to the idea of a woman calling out to commuters and asking where they wish to go. Stepping into the domain reserved purely for men, Urmila Devi of Mushehri block in Bihar's Muzaffarpur is writing a new chapter. She bought an e-rickshaw on loan and is earning her living by driving the commuters herself through the town. This initiative was not because she was jealous of her male counterparts, but through her new venture she's training other women in the town to do what was unthinkable so far.
मेरे घर में गार्जियन है तो उनसे पैसा लेने में चाहे मांगने में बहुत ये होता था, तो हम सोचे जो हम अपना ऐसा काम कर सकते हैं जो अपने आप हम पैसा कमा सकते हैं. हम ये सोचे जो जैसे हम पैसा कमा रहे हैं, मेरा कष्ट दूर हुआ, उस तरीक़ा से सारी महिला को सिखा देंगे तो वो कमाएगी तो उसको भी पैसा या कोई चीज़ का मैंने परेशानी नहीं हो.
Chandni Devi is another role model in Muzaffarpur. A mother of 4 and a wife of a daily wage labourer, Chandni Devi bought an e-rickshaw last year after facing severe financial crunch and sending her kids to school. Today she is not just able to run her house ably, she is also resolving people's issues as a पंच in the village panchayat.
सोचे कि अगर नहीं ये कदम करते हैं तो मेरा बच्चा सब जो है से पीछे रह जाएगा, महाजन वाला फिर दोबारा नहीं देगा कभी। इसके लिए हम ऑटो सीख लिए, ऑटो सीख करके अपना चला रहे हैं, बच्चों सबको पढ़ा रहे हैं, महाजन के भी दे रहे हैं, तो उसके बाद बाकी घर परिवार पूरे अपन चला रहे हैं।
ये खुशी की बात है कि ये पहल हमारे गांव, हमारे मोहल्ले, हमारे कस्बे से हो रही है और ये अपने आप में सिर्फ एक भारत में नहीं बल्कि पूरे दुनिया में शायद एक मिसाल होगी कि एक महिला होकर के भी एक ई रिक्शा चलाती है और एक सबको ये प्रेरणा दे रही है कि आप भी इस मतलब कदम से कदम मिला के चलना चाहिए।
Many other women in the region are following in their footsteps. This small step is nothing less than a giant leap, especially in an area where women empowerment remains a far cry. With Bureau Input, signing off for Ground Report.
We promised to take up stories and issues in our show, and keeping in with that promise, one of the viewers has raised an important issue after he watched our last week's episode, which focused on the Indian legal system. I'll quote his name. Deepak Kumar is one of the viewers who has written to us. Let's listen into what he actually has written to us. One judicial lacuna that is not pointed out is lawyers. What I learned is they want money, drag the case longer, never accept their fault, consider their poor client foolish. One Supreme Court lawyer is not returning my file for more than 1 year. I met him multiple times in New Delhi and Patna. What should I do? So thanks, Deepak, for sending in your feedback. We'll surely come back with a story and with much more meat on the issue which you have sent to us. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Ground Report. Remember, do not forget to send your feedback on the email ID which is flashing on your screen, feedbackgroundreport@gmail.com. If at all, if there is an issue in your region or in your area which has been left unaddressed, RSTV promises to take up that issue. Goodbye and thanks for watching.